VGK's Robin Lehner fails to show up for a mandatory preseason medical exam. We discuss the implications next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com today. And, of course, tonight is Thursday Night Football, the Jets and New England. And the current line, the Jetsies, -6.5. The total, 38 and a hook. Robin Lehner.
That's as standard as it gets for a Thursday Night Football game. 38.5 over under, by the way. It's like standard right there.
Robin Lehner, with 1 year remaining on his contract, fails to report to training camp this week, yesterday, for the mandatory preseason medical exam. We could talk about the options now, as VGK has been in touch with both the NHL and the NHL Players Union, according to Dr. Frank Saravelli, of course, of the Daily Faceoff, who broke the story yesterday. And players on LTIR, as well as all the other players, have to go for these medical exams. Even players that are on LTIR for multiple seasons must undergo a medical exam at the start of the season. Would Leonard forfeit his final year salary of $4.5 million? That remains to be seen. I mean, let's face it, Chris. $4.5 million, you could buy a ton of Ophia, Figus, Hanna, or King Cobra snakes for that kind of money.
This is bizarre. And number one, the article does mention that Robin Lehner has been in the NHL player assistance program. So it's a tough situation going on for him and his family. The fact that, knowing what his situation is, he's not showing up for a $4.5 million payday is very odd. How the player assistance program and all that ties in, I don't know. I don't want to go too far into that, but it's at least something that should be acknowledged before we get too deep into this. What I want to talk about first here is last week. So Kelly McCrimmon is on the NHL Network just randomly 2 days after Jonathan Marchessault made his comments in the media about the fact that the two were bickering up and back about the offer that the Golden Knights made. So there was a very odd interaction in that interview where all of a sudden the hosts are, hey, what's up, Robin Lehner? Where's he these days? Any contact with him? It was very awkward. It was very manufactured. It was very strange. And McCrimmon didn't give a whole lot, just said he hasn't, seen him a whole lot. But the team did give him a Stanley Cup ring for being a part of the process. There you go. For being a part of the process that got the team the Stanley Cup. Why is that even being brought up in the media? I'll tell you why. Because the Golden Knights maybe knew that something was up with Leonard if he was or was not going to show up for the first day of camp to do what he needs to do, A, so he can get paid, and B, so the Golden Knights can do whatever they need to do so Leonard's salary does not hit. So Leonard goes to LTIR. So, unless I credit McCrimmon for doing this, obviously it's all, if McCrimmon's talking to the media, there's a reason. And McCrimmon's planting the seed here that something was going on. But hey, the Golden Knights made sure that everyone knows that Leonard got his Stanley Cup ring, and now Leonard is in return possibly screwing over the Golden Knights. I don't know.
So is he still in the player assistance program? That's
no idea. I think the article says he has been in
he has been, okay, or something to that effect.
I mean, there's a lot going on there in his
here's
world.
A red flag. Okay, here's a red flag for you. I go back to that Jonathan Marchessault comment last week when he was on the Cam and Strick podcast, and they were saying, did Robin Lehner bring snakes to practice, kind of jokingly, and then Marchessault responds, yeah, I don't know what he's up to. I don't know if he's back to drinking again or what. I kind of lost contact with him. So maybe there's a rumor going on about that. Maybe Leonard is also way out of shape, or or over
That
the
part I
summer.
believe is very accurate, but
Okay, but over the summer too, we heard some ripples there, fans, what have you, talking about seeing him and he's in good shape and maybe wanting to come back. There's a lot to unpack here.
I don't see a world where that could possibly happen. I mean, unless he didn't show up because maybe he is in shape and tried to come back. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, like I
that's a
said, I want to be
theory.
sensitive to Robin and his family and everything because he's been going through some very notable issues as far as personally with himself and the family and the financials and everything. So it's real life stuff that's happening over there. I know we see it a bit differently, knowing that they're multi-million-dollar athletes, but that doesn't change a hard time for anyone, the amount of money that they make. But like I said, I mean, going back to the Golden Knights side of this, Leonard has to show up so the doctor can check a box that says fit to play or not fit to play. There's a lot more to it than that. But at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Can Robin Leonard take the ice and perform his duties for the Vegas Golden Knights as his contract stipulates? If he cannot do that, obviously the Golden Knights put him on LTIR. Robin Leonard gets paid, and here comes the 24-25 hockey season. I mean, it's amazing that on the opening day of training camp, Robin Leonard's the lead story. Think about this for a second. This is interesting. And at the end of the day, I don't think this is going to negatively impact the salary. I mean, if they terminate his contract, I don't think there's going to be any penalties to the Vegas Golden Knights with salary implications or anything like that. This is an unforeseen circumstance, to put it very mildly, and very strange to say the least. And number one, you hope Robin is okay. And number two, you obviously hope the Vegas Golden Knights can get this worked out, because all of a sudden, if something weird happens and all of a sudden the Golden Knights are that $5 million AAV is going to all of a sudden count against the Golden Knights, they're going to have to shed a $3.6 million in contract space before the season starts. So, whew.
Well,
Never
but if
dull moments. It's day one. We're talking about Robin Leonard,
right,
who hasn't taken the ice in 3 years. This is bizarre.
right, but if he forfeits that money, then VGK has the 5 million that they can utilize there.
No. Then his salary cap is irrelevant. If he forfeits that $5 million, that's $5 million in Bill Foley's personal pocket, which is fine. But it doesn't change anything with the salary right now. Today, assuming Robin Leonard is going to be on LTIR, the Golden Knights have 1.2, 1.3, something like that to work with. That could change a little bit, obviously, depending on how things shake out. Brendan Brisson and Alex Holtz, if they were sent down to the American League, that would free up another something million as well. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
So the Players Association, let me get this straight. So if things fall not in the favor of Robin Leonard, then the Players Association gets involved and they try to sort through it. And I'm so confused about a lot of the things that could happen here as a result of him not showing up for his medical exam.
We're talking about the money, obviously, and the $4.5 million physical payday Robin Leonard will get in biweekly payments during the NHL season. It's just, they get paid the same way we do, folks. Just they have extra commas and stuff in their paychecks. But Robin Leonard, again, it's been very noteworthy about his personal situation and his bankruptcies and money's owed and everything like that. So maybe him showing up and getting back on the payroll, so to speak, is actually a negative impact for him. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm sure he's lawyered up and has financial people trying to help him through this and everything. And maybe he's simply doing what he's told to do, or maybe he can't show up. Maybe he's in a bad place. We don't know. We don't know. And you hope he's well. I'll say this again a million times. I want people snipping this, saying we're dumping on Leonard's personal situation. We're not, but it's a Vegas Golden Knights show, and this impacts the Vegas Golden Knights, so we need to talk about it.
I remember Kelly McCrimmon saying that the team does not buy out any player. Boy, did I ride that one. Holy smokes. Is that still some sort of a possibility?
I don't know. I mean, maybe the way all this could shake out, I don't know. I mean, obviously the players have rights through the NHLPA. That's why the NHLPA is there. It's basically a union, I guess, as far as protecting the players and all sorts of common and, in this case, uncommon circumstances. And the NHLPA is going to dig in as best they can. They're obviously going to do what they can for Robin and his family through all of this. And could there be a buyout? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure somewhere buried in the CBA and everything, there could be some type of clause that covers strange circumstances like this. If it's a buyout, though, then that could impact the Golden Knights and their salary cap. It could be dead space. It could be penalty. It could be all sorts of weird things. So I don't think, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't think anything is going to negatively impact the Vegas Golden Knights and their current salary situation. I'd have to think the player didn't show up. What can the Golden Knights do? What more can the Vegas Golden Knights do about Robin Lehner? He shows or he doesn't, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Now, maybe the way the CBA is written, it may not matter. It may not matter.
I got ripped last year when I
You got
just
ripped a
even
lot more recent
discussed.
than that, but keep going.
Okay, it was a year ago when I got ripped last. So VGK, if they do have to pay out Robin Lehner, I just remember the fans jumping on me because they'd have to pay him $2.25 million, like for the first season or thereabouts, and then 2 times the payment of 1.75, and that goes up.
Oh, the
against
buyout you're talking
cap.
about.
I said buyout. Yeah, I think.
I got you.
I think so. Yeah. So in
You
any
kind of did.
event,
You kind of didn't. I was confused. So okay.
I sort of did. That's good. That's what I do here. I confuse people. So VGK could terminate the contract, but hey, at least Leonard has a parting gift. He's got the championship ring. And I know that they've got to have the tweet ready to go, bro. Future endeavors. The future endeavors tweet, is that ready? Too soon. Too soon.
Awesome. I mean, listen, again, you hope everything's going okay there, but again, I'm not dumping on McCrimmon for planning the question. He planned that question. I don't care if McCrimmon, you can call me if you disagree and we'll work it out. But Kelly McCrimmon, I think, planted that question with the NHL.
Oh, it's been the total summer of PR spin. 100%. Are you kidding me?
And that's their job. Like let's be careful. Let's be clear. It's their job. It's okay.
Come on. It's too much, man. It's in excess.
Yeah. How's Robin Leonard these days? Where does that even fit into this?
Where's he even in town? Is he in town? Remember? Like we had some where is Waldo,
I've heard no rumblings about anyone seeing him, but he usually does need, obviously he needs to show up on the first day of camp and quietly get in and out, but
interesting. Hey, yesterday, before we go to break here, or well over once again.
Not compared to yesterday
was media day. What was missing from media day? McCrimmon meeting with the press.
Well, McCrimmon will meet with them this morning. No, so the Golden Knights,
they're going to happen.
So their media day. Here's how that works. Yesterday was like a lot of the Fox and the TV cameras type of stuff like that media day. And then today, Thursday, is the opening day of camp when the beat writers and stuff get access to the team and the players. Kelly McCrimmon, I think, has an 8:45 a.m. local time meeting with the media. Won't see him again until the trade deadline, so get your questions in as early as you can. But yeah, this will come up. I hope Shea Theodore's contract comes up. I know you're not going to get much, but it would be interesting to at least see if McCrimmon gives you a little slice of things. I still beg someone in the media to call out McCrimmon for his comments last season. We don't negotiate extensions during a playoff run. Noah Hannafin was extended before the Golden Knights qualified for the playoffs. I would love, this is why I'm not going, by the way, but I would love clarification on that comment by Kelly McCrimmon.
Edmonton's Vander Kane headed to LTIR. He's having all sorts of surgeries, a ton of injuries that he has. Will he be missing the regular season and return for the playoffs a la Mark Stone? That's coming up ahead right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. You've heard us talk an awful lot about FanDuel. Why? Because it's America's #1 sports book. And we have something going on a little different for you through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet just $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. And it's pretty interesting. You just then have to have a YouTube television base account. You'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel this at any time. And once again, tonight the Jets will be hosting New England. It's Thursday night football, and guess what, folks? Those are usually clunkers, but you could still wager on them. The Jets are favored by 6.5. The over-under is 38.5. Go to FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony
WTT,
Cardasco.
the Jets are favored by 6.5 points.
Yeah, exactly. Take the dog.
Oh,
And I'm a Jet fan, of course. Well, everyone thinks that they're so downtrodden, right? New England. This is still a rivalry game, folks. I'm still concerned as a Jetsy fan. So we'll see what happens.
6.5. The Jets should be favored over a Pop Warner team by 6.5.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much. Of course, make sure that you download our shows each and every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. And please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. Tomorrow's WTF. And we already have a plethora of WTFs already in the hopper for tomorrow's show. And Saturdays, perhaps this Saturday, the much anticipated return of the Chris Jr. show, the YouTube exclusive. What a lead by your guy, Mark Spector. Are the Edmonton Oilers looking to become the next Vegas Golden Knights? Hey, what's good for the goose is good for Evander. That's brilliance, bro. Kudos. Stick taps or whatever you do in hockey. Okay, so Kane needs to have a multitude of surgeries, both abductors, one on each hip, 2 torn lower abdominal muscles, 2 hernias. Holy smokes. He's got to be in a world of pain.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Well, you were saying yesterday, Chris G, he's wondering why the Edmonton Oilers waited so long to have a surgery or surgeries for Vander Kane.
This Mark Spector was dangling this last week. He made a comment that it was, they'll have Vander Kane in the next 10 days or so will have some type of surgery, and then obviously the Oilers will address how that will impact their salary cap situation. So my first question is, why is it September the 19th? And this is just coming out now. Last game Vander Kane played was game 2 of the Stanley Cup final on June the 10th. Didn't even play the last 5 games of the Stanley Cup final. Why? Because he was injured. Okay. Season ends, a week later after that, June the 20th, something like that. End late this year, fine, whatever. That means 3 months have gone by, and Vander Kane still doesn't have a date yet to even go under the knife. So, of course, the Golden Knights are brought up by Spector in this, and that's totally fair, 100,000% fair. Is Vander Kane going to be gone for the entire season? I certainly hope not, but I'm not going to put a timeline on myself. Okay, all right. And then just to kind of keep going here, let's see. The most obvious question, why is it taking so long? This is Stan Bowman's answer. The way we handle it with our players, and again, Stan Bowman's been back in the league for 5 minutes. The way we handle it with our players is at the end of the day, it's their body. It's their decision to make. They can listen to the recommendations of doctors, but they have to get to the point where, in their mind, this is definitely what I want to do. That's certainly where we've reached with Evander. Tony, what were his injuries? You said like a whole laundry list of stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to go through whatever an abductor.
These aren't new injuries, though. That's the thing. So, let's be clear. The Oilers aren't doing anything.
2 hernias. Jeez Louise.
That doesn't sound fun.
No.
The Oilers aren't doing anything wrong. Let's be clear about this. If the CBA allows players to, draw these things out and everything, then fine, so be it. There's nothing wrong with it. But this is a problem where, you only have to, in this situation of the Vegas Golden Knights, you just have to submit one MRI that talks about Mark Stone's spleen and his injury. People were saying he could have played as early as April 1 last year. Again, hearsay, scuttlebutt, whatever. But there's an MRI out there that says otherwise. Well, if he could have played, the salary situation would not have allowed for Mark Stone to play, which would have been very interesting. Vander Kane hasn't played an NHL game now in 3 months and approximately 10 days. These aren't new injuries. He didn't get injured over the summer. He's been injured. Why does the NHL and the CBA and whatever clause this falls under, the NHLPA, however all this lines up, why do they allow this? Why can you draw, why don't you have to get surgery or get repaired in a reasonable time frame? This is $5 million that the Oilers have to work with now all of a sudden. And if Vander Kane's a good player, we can crap on him all we want. He's a good player, especially when he's on. He's a good player when he is on. That would be a heck of a in-season acquisition for the playoffs when you've spent $5 million bringing in another player, wouldn't it?
Okay, two things here. Here's a thought. Well, okay, you neglected to point out, number one, that he got some advice that by going to physical therapy, he would be perhaps he'd be okay to play this season with all those injuries.
Fair. I didn't see that part, but that's fair. Okay.
So that was one of the things.
Fair.
Number two, give the Oil a lot of credit for at least having some transparency and having a Vander Kane available to the media. How would VGK handle this, bro?
Bingo.
There's no way. We would not see this player ever. So
and the fact that Stan Bowman even commented on it. The fact that Stan even commented
on hating on the Oil. I want you to get some ink there in the paper. Mark Spector listens to the show. I'm trying to help you, bro.
Spector's a good dude, and it is 100,000% accurate. The Oilers offered transparency, and this is good.
Yeah, exactly. And so, of course, over the offseason, to make way for Vander Kane's contract, Cody Cece's gone, right? Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg, both going to St. Louis as they signed the offer sheets. So they were trying to make that room there for him. And I don't know. I think that's as transparent as you can be or get. And he might have had, obviously, some hurts coming into the season, but they definitely felt as though the advice that he received was that if he went to physical therapy, he might be better. 2 hernias. Holy smokes, dude. Like, I mean,
I don't know how that impacts a professional athlete, but it's not good.
How does that? How would that impact you or I? Never mind a professional athlete.
I mean, we're impacted by a hangnail differently than professional athletes are. So unless it's Horace Grant. Horace Grant gets a hangnail. He was toast. Him and his goggles. But no, this is interesting with the Oilers. And at the end of the day, it's allowed. Like, let's be clear, it's allowed. Anyone, especially if there's any Vegas Golden Knights fan that is looking at the Oilers like, no, this is terrible. How dare you do this? Stop it. Just stop it right there. Do not knock them. If anything, this should bring Vegas Golden Knights and Oilers fans together. This is like a common bond now between these two. This is a common bond. Both teams are finding ways around the salary cap, and good for them. Good for them.
I think, hey, if VGK is going to do this, the rest of the league is going to follow suit, and they're going to bend the rules
100%.
just like VGK did.
100%, and that's okay. And that's okay.
Coming up next, Chris Golick tells us about new perks for season ticket holders. You don't want to miss it, folks. It's right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Gametime has a new feature. It's called Gametime Picks, and it makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Gametime, what they do with the picks, they filter out all the fluff, and they show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste a lot of time searching for thousands of tickets. So definitely check that out. There are all sorts of great features. Curated deals make it easier to find the best price and the greatest seats. The super deal, something they have, you want to check that out. Seat views before you purchase your tickets. There's so many great features there. The lowest price guarantee or Gametime credits you 110% of the difference, and the ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets today with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You will receive $20 off of your first purchase. Again, create an account, use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get $20 off. Download Gametime today. Mr. Golick, what time is it? It's game time. It's game time.
I'm never ready for that. I'm never ready for that.
Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas.
There we go. Okay, I got it.
I thought you'd be ready for that. It's like our 4th try of the week.
No,
we appreciate you tuning in, especially our everydayers all over the world. 100,000 downloads are not wrong. Plus,
are not wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, okay. We maybe need a promo about that. In any event, don't forget tomorrow's WTF, What the Friday. I know that you folks listen to every single word we say, so fire them up there. They don't. No. Every word that I say, even when I'm positive, I get people saying I'm negative.
Tony, you really need to work on your online etiquette.
I will try to do that. Maybe are there classes I could go to maybe that I can attend? Of course, WTF tomorrow, Saturday, Chris and Chris Jr. show. Tell us, Chris, about these new benefits for VGK's season ticket holders, of which you are one of those folks.
Yeah, this was a nice email to see. So Golden Knights season tickets, they're not cheap. I mean, I'm fortunate to be in on the ground level, so I'm in a better spot than a lot, but even still, they're not cheap by any means. And when you're selling them for the games you can't go to, it's not as lucrative as it once was. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. But nice email came yesterday for season ticket holders. This is good. It says there's going to be new food and beverage discounts at T-Mobile Arena. This is simply a you asked, we listened type of moment here. We're excited to bring a brand new exclusive benefit beginning with the first regular season game. Present your season ticket member pass and receive the lowest concession prices available inside T-Mobile Arena. Now, what that means, I don't know. Is it a 5% discount, which or whatever, it's not even worth opening up the app, or is it a 20% discount, which when you're looking at a thing of popcorn, that's about $7, which is less than Henderson. But no, actually they're about the same price now. Or are you going for some of that ice cream or some chicken fingers or something like that? You save a couple bucks, it adds up, especially if you go every game, especially if you got a family of 4 that goes and you plan eating during the first or second intermission. So that was nice. This is also kind of nice. The Nighttime Plus app. I know Tony loves that app. It's his favorite app. 20% off of the Nighttime Plus app for season ticket members. So that's kind of nice as well. There's other things like discounts there. They've increased the discount, looks like, for the Arsenal and the Armory up to, I think, 20%. I thought I read about that. And there's going to be other special offers throughout the year as well for season ticket members, including whatever the season ticket gets together is, which is always something interesting. But going back, I really do like the discounts for the concessions. And even if it's only like a 5% discount, when you're paying $17 for a brewski, that's not a bad thing as well.
The honeymoon is officially over because now they have to promote things, huh?
I mean, listen, the first part of the season is going to be a challenge for the Vegas Golden Knights for 2 reasons. One, how's the team going to do? There's a lot of questions about that. But number 2, F1 is coming back. Woohoo, can't wait. Even when the team was doing well going back to the Stanley Cup season, there's empty seats. There's empty seats with that F1 traffic and stuff. That was in the spring before the first race. And it just, people don't want to go to the strip. Even when you're taking the bus in and stuff, there's still traffic. If you're taking the bus from Green Valley or, I think Santa Fe and Summerlin and everything and the east side, parking and getting out after the games can be an absolute cluster, and F1 screws a lot of things up. So a lot of the season ticket members are going to say screw it, and hopefully they think to sell their tickets on Access or wherever else they're going to buy, sell, and trade their Golden Knight tickets to. But between F1, the possibility, again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the possibility that this team does not start 25 and whatever they did last season, and it's going to be I'll be curious to see how things look in T-Mobile from, let's say, game 2 of the regular season to about game 22, whatever the New Year's Day game is, whatever game number that is. Because after that, it should be okay.
So they've won you back. I remember you were upset about the season ticket holder event. Wasn't that last year where you were outside in a long line and you were grumpy AF and all that? No?
Which event was that?
There
was an event. It was the one at Area 15.
Yeah.
Oh no, hold on. No, last year the season ticket event was at the Christmas place at downtown Summerlin at the ballpark.
Okay.
Enchant. That was cool. That was cool. The one at Area 15 the year before was an absolute train wreck. And I'm sure the season ticket members
call it a cluster F1.
Cluster, what the cluster F1, that's exactly what I called it. Now, the one at Area 15 was brutally ran. The team absolutely dropped the ball, and they bounced back nicely with the one after that at Enchant. So,
okay.
Hey,
Tampa on the way out, I just want to mention, I thought they did something cool. 6,000 season ticket holders and suite holders, their names were frozen into the bolt at center ice.
Been done before. Done before.
Okay, so where was your name? Where on the ice? I don't recall this at all. Because I'm not a season ticket holder.
What they did in season number 1, I don't know specifically where, but they did roll out
the blue line.
It wasn't it was somewhere you weren't going to see it anywhere, but it was underneath the ice.
You didn't see your name?
I didn't. You had to catch it like in a video or something. I never looked. I didn't care. But no, in season number 1, they did put all the season ticket holders' names under the ice, if you will, same way the Florida Tampa Bay Lightning did. So it's a cool gesture. It's fun. It's nice. That's stuff like that's good.
All right. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Don't forget tomorrow's WTF Saturdays Chris and Chris Jr. show. Especially our everydayers. Thanks so much for tuning in today and every day. From a man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please, folks, take care.